So hello and welcome back to the bar, and for the next series 3 of our bar chats. The first two series started off with series 1 was all about change leadership culture. Series 2 was about managing perceptions internally of PMOs, portfolio offices and programs and program leadership teams. And Series 3, we're going to move into a new topic, which is around this all-encompassing term that gets used an awful lot in our industry or profession, which is called best practice. Now, best practice I find a very interesting term, primarily because it's a superlative. It's a little bit like infinity. It's sort of untouchable. It's unquantifiable. And yes, an awful lot of people grab onto it as a term that they'd like to achieve. So during this series, we're going to look at various different elements of best practice, and I'm going to give you some views from the street, having spent the last 30 years working with various different companies in various different places around the concept of best practice. So the first thing I want to look at in the first episode of this series is going to look at yourselves in the mirror. So what my sort of theory here is that the first thing you need to do before you start thinking about anything along the lines of best practice is look in the mirror, challenge yourself, and think about exactly who you are and what your organization looks like today. So what do I mean by that? So I mean, be really honest with yourselves when you look in the mirror and say to yourself, what level of maturity are we at during across the organization today? Processes, systems, people, etc. What level of capability do we have within the organization? So the sort of questions to ask yourself are, across my portfolio of projects, how many people that are delivering projects are external contractors? People that we're bringing in to deliver stuff for us that don't know our systems, don't know our processes, etc. How many of them? Is it 20%? Is it 30% of the people that are leading projects or activities? Another good one to ask yourself is, how many of the people that are leading projects are not project management trained? They're just good operational people. Map yourself out on a bit of a diagram as to where you feel your organization sits today in terms of maturity versus capability. And then you've got a decent starting point. And you can start to look at what best practice, or maybe we should be using the term better practice, looks like for your organization. So my sort of bar tip for the day would be, look at yourselves in the mirror, be honest with yourselves, and really think about where you are today. Set realistic improvement goals. So by all means have an improvement or a continuous improvement program of activity. We all want to get better all the time. But set yourself realistic improvement goals that are based on where your environment is today, not based on some theoretical sort of thesis on where you want to be in the future. So work with what you've got and manage it in small steps as opposed to trying to shoot for the stars. All the very best of luck.